In this lesson, we'll begin to draw out the exhaust pipes for our motorcycle. So you can see the pipes here. If you take a look in the side, you can see how they route from the engine around from this side, and they cross over and go around to the other side and actually sort of connect up here in the center, okay, and then branch off to this side, and then this one kind of comes down around here to the underside. So let's go ahead and draw those out. And we could use splines. We've used splines a lot here lately. But let's go ahead and use something else. So let's go ahead and create. And we're still going to create shapes, but this time we're going to create NURBS curves. And we have the option to create point curve and a CV curve. The difference is how we place the points. So if we draw a CV curve out, and let me go ahead and just go back to our default. If we draw a CV curve out, you can see that the points that I create aren't necessarily on the curve. And if you've worked with NURBS before, maybe you're used to that and you want to go ahead and place them that way. Otherwise, you can do a point curve, and then the points will actually be located on the curve that you create. Okay, so either way, you're going to get kind of the same kind of curve. And so let's now go ahead and just draw this out. And it's going to be, we're going to draw it from the left, so it's going to be flat, and then we'll go ahead and shape it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use a CV curve. Okay, and I'm going to start to just draw this out a little bit. Just trying to match up with this side. Okay, so I'll go ahead and draw it through here. Okay, and then just roughly get it into position from the side. And again, you can always go in here and move these points around. We're not going to be changing the types of points as we would with a spline. Okay, we're not going to be creating corners and things like that, but we can move these around and just refine the shape that we've got here just by positioning these a little bit differently. Okay, so I'll go ahead and now just move these around a little bit. So I'm going to take basically these points and go ahead and just pull those out a bit. So they need to come out, they need to stay behind basically this piece right in here. So I want to keep it behind there. Okay, but we can kind of bulge it out a little bit. Right here. Okay, and then you can see it kind of curves under there in 3 dimensions. And this one, it needs to go all the way over to the other side. Okay, so all the way over here. And then this one as well. So it'll kind of match up here a little bit better. Okay, so you can see how it crosses through the center. You can go ahead and grab that and pull that through the center. Alright, and then we can add geometry along this in the same way that we would add it with the spline. Okay, we can either use the sweep, or we can go ahead and just enable this. And then we can change the number of sides, the thickness, okay, all of that stuff. So you can go ahead and just dial this thickness up a bit. Okay, and then if we want to modify that, just go ahead and move those points, and then that curve and that geometry will actually update. So you can get a better idea of the thickness that you want your pipes to be. Alright, let's go ahead and draw the back one now. Okay, we'll go ahead and leave that end kind of roughly shaped there. Let's go ahead and create a new CV curve. Okay, and this one we'll just kind of draw in here. Kind of a few points in here that kind of there's a kind of a sharper point there. So at that point we want to add maybe a few more CVs there. Go ahead and add one there. Hit A, and let's just kind of curve it back up. Okay, we'll end that, and we've got that enabled already. So it's going to add that geometry there, and we're going to add. It's going to have the same settings. And see this one and this one, and they have the same settings now. So I can come in and modify these curves a little bit. So maybe we want to pull this in so this penetrates into that other pipe there, as that's where they're connected. Okay, so you get something like that. This one actually needs to come out on this side. Same thing with this. Let's go ahead and pull that forward. So one of them is on one side, one of them's on the other side. Gives us our pair of pipes there. Okay, so just kind of match it up from the side view, and from in the perspective, you can kind of match it up there a little bit better. Just kind of penetrate that in. And this guy, I'll just go ahead and pull forward a little bit, and just kind of space this out from from whatever view it is we're working with here. Okay, I'll pull that up to kind of smooth everything out a little bit. And I'll just kind of rotate that around and pull it down a little. So just kind of shape it. And the nice thing is that you can come in here and modify any of these points in that geometry. We'll just follow right along until you get something that you really like. All right, so we've got a couple of curves here with some geometry added to them. We've got them very roughly placed. So what we probably want to do now is go ahead and add these mufflers on the back, because we know that they're kind of known quantities. They're going to be a cylinder shape, and they're going to be in this kind of a position. So if we add those, it'll give us a little bit better idea of how to place the ends of our exhaust pipes. Okay, so we'll go ahead and in the next lesson add the mufflers here.